All right. Hey,
Ta-da! How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. How are you doing, JJ?
I'm hanging in there. It's really nice to see you.
It's good to see you. How you been?
You know, just it's so weird.
It is so weird. So what's happening?
Well, friends here who have already joined in. So why don't we just jump right into it and you tell us who you are, where you are, and what you do.
Uh, my name is Chris. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm a musician. Is that
Sure.
fair enough?
Yeah. Do you want to give any background on the type of music you make and what you've been up to these last couple decades or whatever?
I know each other from York, obviously, and I was in live for about 5 years, so um, there's that. But I've been in a number of bands, but currently just holed up here at home making music and writing and compiling tons of songs that I don't know what to do with just yet.
Hmm. So you've been able to use this forced time at home creatively, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's worked that way and then it hasn't. It's frustrating. Uh, uh, I'll be creative and then this last week has just been sort of zapped. None. But I think it's important not to beat yourself up over that. What's
I
your cat
agree.
saying?
Her name is Gonzo.
Oh, that makes sense.
She's so completely calm in between these chats, but then as soon as one of them starts, she's doing that. It's ridiculous. She's normally just a very quiet cat. Anyway, so you're passing the time by making music. I saw you've done at least one live stream, right? You've done a
Yeah,
couple of.
I did too. It was a lot of fun. I had Christopher Thorne with me from my old band Unified Theory and Blind Melon, and that was a ton of fun. And then Gary Lucas joined me the other day from New York, and he's awesome. And I'd like to do a few more. I'm thinking about doing it. Like I said, just got to feel a little more inspired.
Yeah, yeah. Christopher Thorne actually is a York County native, as I
Yeah,
understand it too.
yeah, he sure is.
We got a couple connections to York.
That's right.
Um,
How's everything there in town?
I think it's okay. I've been at home for 8 weeks now, I
Well,
think.
yeah.
So I don't know, but it seems like people seem to be in relatively good spirits given the circumstances. But I think, for my part, everybody I'm talking to is really missing live music a lot. It's been interesting to see how people are finding ways to do live streams and finding ways to connect and still share what they're doing. But it's not exactly the same. So I'm looking forward to the time when we can go to shows again. I'm really missing that.
Yeah, everyone is.
Are you getting to listen to much music while you're at home?
Yeah, well, funny enough, and this is always a weird thing, but I don't listen to a lot of music. Which is strange. I listen to the music I'm creating,
Sure.
and people who know me know that if I'm in my car, I'll listen to the 40s channel. That's like my go-to. But when I ride my bike a lot now, that's been in the last few years has been my main thing, and I do listen to music, and that's where I kind of cultivate lists of a lot of kind of stranger atmospheric type electronica stuff that just really head heavy kind of stuff that I could daydream to,
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I like. But
And are you talking about a bicycle or a motorcycle?
bicycle, yes.
So that's what fuels your. It's not like Rage Against the Machine or something. It's more like
No, it's funny.
ethereal than that.
Music is so weird to me because it's funny. Rage Against the Machine is a good example because as much as that would pump me up in a way, it's like it's too nostalgic for me, and music that conjures that kind of like memories that kind of get in the way of new thoughts, if that makes sense. Like,
Sure.
so I prefer more experimental electronica type stuff. And, you know, I'll spend a long time sort of chasing the rabbit hole down through, oh, if you like this, you might like this, and you might like this, and random stuff. And I'll find a track here. And, you know, my playlist just, I don't know who half these artists are, but I love certain songs. And because they just, I don't know, they put me in that, you know, windows down, summer drive, headspace kind of vibe where you're sort of daydreaming. And
I think that's
which is
my
kind of what
favorite
I strive
headspace.
for in my own music, but
yeah,
yeah.
that's my favorite. I miss that too, driving around with the windows down. I guess I could still do that, but I haven't been. And the weather's starting to get nicer. How's the weather where
Yeah.
you are? Is it pretty
Oh,
warm
it's
already?
great. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's really great right now.
What else are you doing? Are you able to ride your bike now? Did you already
Oh,
say?
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I rode 570 miles this last month.
Last month.
This last month, yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm putting down about 30 a day or something. So it's, or 40 or whatever. It's crazy. But it's something I wished I discovered years and years ago. I wished. I mean, I started running after a friend of mine passed away suddenly about 5 or 6 years ago. And that's what, it messed up my knees because I was so sad and kind of didn't know what to do with myself. And running is where was what made it kind of help me make sense of things. And when I moved to back to Charlotte, Charlotte's just got so many greenways everywhere. I mean, miles and miles of beautiful greenway next to creeks and in the woods. And so I bought a bike, and I mean, it took over. And then I bought a much nicer bike about a year ago, and that's when it just really upped the ante. And I'm able to go so far, and it's just great. I love it. I don't know what I'd do without it now.
I really love it too, although I don't put in that kind of miles. I almost never get to put in the time on it. So I think my goal for the whole year was only like 100 miles.
Hey,
So
that's great.
amazing to me.
That's great. The whole point is just to get out. I mean, because for me, you know, when I said I started with running, I've tried to tell people who know me well and know that I've had like a history of agoraphobia type stuff and anxieties, and leaving the house would be difficult at times, and when I'm in a bad spot. And so I had to train myself to literally walk down the block and back until I can expand my bubble, walk around the block, and then walk add a block to that until, you know, you get more comfortable, until now I can do a 63-mile loop around the entire city over a 4-hour, you know, it's pretty amazing. And it's, you know, you got to work baby steps.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing nobody told me about riding bikes, I just started probably 5 years ago, is that unlike other exercise I've done, if I do a 40-mile bike ride and I stop, you know, after an hour or something and take a 10-15-minute break, it's like hitting a reset button, and then you can go another bajillion miles. It's a really deceptively easy thing to just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me about anxiety wise. I'm finding that a lot of my friends and family who struggle with anxiety are actually faring better than everybody else right now. They have these coping strategies for when things go wrong. So
yeah,
how are you feeling about it?
Absolutely. I mean, that's because people who live with high anxiety are constantly prepared for worst case scenarios. And it's funny because I've read a lot about this too. And you know, if I travel anywhere, I've got a bag with me that I've got all sorts of things. If anything were to go wrong, I've got a power bar, I've got a flashlight, all sorts of crazy things that just will provide me with any sort of comfort. If I got stuck in an elevator, I'm good for a while. But that's funny. It's funny how that happens. Because like when this whole thing kind of first started, this whole lockdown started, my dad even called, and I could hear the panic in his voice. It was really kind of sweet. He didn't realize he was calling for maybe a little help, but it was nice to be a voice of calm there for a minute. This perspective, putting perspective on it.
Yeah, I think those with anxiety are all of a sudden sort of experts and phone a friends for people who haven't experienced it before.
Well, and going back to the bike thing, it's so imperative that in times like this, that people make the effort to walk down the block and back, or walk around. Like, you don't have to do 40, 50, 60 miles. You don't have to do even a mile. It's the point is to get into a habit of just getting out of your comfort zone and getting off the couch and just, you know, doing these little things. Just, you're taking care of yourself, and it'll get back. It's like people talk about that, like, oh, I have to change all this stuff. Just add one thing. You don't have to take away all the, you know, you might not have the healthiest diet or anything like that. Don't try to change everything at once. Just add one little thing, which could be walking to the end of the street and back, or just walking around the block before you at sunset or something. It's just adding that little bit of perspective and clarity and heart rate. It's changed my life, and I could preach about it all day long. But
it's really good advice.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, as we wrap up here, how can people find more information about you and the music that you make, and how they can best support that, or the things that you care about? What do you want people to know?
Well, here on Instagram is probably the best. I mean, I prefer Instagram to anything else. I mean, I have the Facebook pages. You can follow me there, you know, as well. And I've released about three or four, I can't remember, brand new songs this last year. And I have a ton more, and I just don't know what I'm going to do with them exactly, because I don't know what releasing a record is anymore. I mean, unless you're Beck or someone like that, and you can release a whole record and everyone's going to listen to the whole thing. I don't want to, I'm just not going to throw 12 of my songs out there to have everyone listen to the first two. So it's not about money, obviously, because you're not going to make any money unless you're really touring or something. But yeah, stay tuned with me. Probably Facebook and Instagram. That's just the best way. So to do that there, and yeah.
Wonderful. Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me for a few minutes here.
Oh my gosh.
And I hope that we get to see each other before too long.
I know. Well, I don't know if people know, but I mean, you and I used to hang out pretty late nights some nights, and you took me home more than a couple occasions when it was too late, and I think we went through Wendy's one night.
That sounds about right. Yeah. We would hang out at First Cap when you were in town.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's my favorite
That's
spot.
Right.
And at Pete and
Yeah,
Lindsay's
between
house,
Left
too.
Bank and Blue Heron, those were my two go-to restaurants, and we were there. Me and Jerry Harrison, we were doing the live record. That's where we would, between Blue Heron and it was like kind of one night there, you know. We love those places. I miss all those people too.
Yeah, I saw.
Hey, I miss you guys.
Peter and Lindsay are on here.
Yeah, we love Pete and Lindsay, and their little babies.
I know, the most beautiful children in the world, I think. Don't tell my own child I said that.
Yeah.
my son actually turns 20 this week.
Wow.
So I look at, Ruben and Greta, and it's just kind of mind blowing. It feels like they were just that small. He was just that small. But anyway, thank you very much for taking the time. I'm doing this every Sunday until we're allowed to leave the house again. This is the 7th week. And coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'll be talking to Ron Gallo to finish out the day if anybody wants to hop back on at 3. Chris, stay safe, stay sane, and really good talking to you, man.
You too. I miss you.
I miss you too. Hang in there.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.